Hey, how's it going, guys? Garrett here, and the Garret. Today I want to talk about a follow-up question from my previous video I did on the mindfulness cycle. Someone wrote me and asked what mindfulness actually is, which I think is a great question. That's actually something I learned more about recently in the mindfulness life coaching class that I took. Because I feel like mindfulness is one of those terms that you hear, but it's not always a clear thing that we understand. So I'm going to share a little bit more about what mindfulness is, and then also some of her other questions that I'm going to address as well. So first of all, just real simply, mindfulness is being aware without judgment, seeing reality as it is in the present moment, and not judging it, but just observing it. And so, for example, being mindful of our thoughts would be observing, being aware of the thoughts that pop into our head and come up within us without actually judging those thoughts or engaging with them, but just seeing them for what they are. She went on to ask a couple other follow-up questions from the last video. What am I being redirected back to that will change and grow me into my identity as a child of God? And then she also asked, you commented that we are the MCs, Master of Ceremonies, of our lives. How and where does Jesus fit into this? So, like I said, to put it simply, mindfulness is being aware without judgment. Sounds easy, but it's very hard to maintain. As far as how mindfulness can change and grow our identity in God, I believe mindfulness is what Jesus described as the kingdom of heaven, what lies in our midst, the reality before us that is so hard for us to often truly see as it is. The majestic miracle of every moment is the present moment is the only moment that truly exists. I think for most of us, we tend to spend so much time dwelling on the past and worrying about the future, judging others instead of letting God's unconditional love pour through us. We struggle to walk naked with God in the garden because for most of us, our bodies, our temples, are filled with unidentified, suppressed trauma, and our hearts are blocked with deep fear and shame we have not forgiven ourselves for, that we have not yet believed Jesus can heal. We have not yet died to ourselves because we're so out of touch with our true self, we are out of touch with God Himself. So He patiently waits for us as this life refines us, and I think He uses the universe to try and grow us and get our attention. But until we're ready to see, to listen, to be truly present and truly mindful, we will likely be swept up by the flood of culture, the world, distraction, the snakes of deceit. For many of us, struggling, wishing for more, and wondering what the purpose of it all is, will we put on brave faces for everyone but ourselves? Because if anyone truly knew who we were inside, it would just be too much. And as far as how Jesus fits in regarding being the MC of our own lives, being the master of ceremonies of our own lives, is to arise to God's calling in your life, to travel the narrow path of restoring the wholeness in which God originally created you, and to journey closer to walking naked in the garden with God. Many of us live our lives as victims, but the saint comes to terms with their true self. To master the self is not to block out God, it is to unwaveringly stop blocking yourself from Him. As Jesus said, I and the Father are one. So that's my take anyways. That's, from a Christian perspective, Jesus called mindfulness or presence, whatever word you want to use for it. He called it the kingdom of heaven. Buddha called it emptiness. Others call it spaciousness. Doesn't matter what you want to call it, but the practice of actually living in the moment, not getting caught in the past, not worrying about the future, to really be one with the moment, see it as it is, and to redirect yourself when you've wandered, to really live there, to dwell there, to let the power of the only moment that exists, which is right now, come to life within you, to be one with it. It's not easy to do, but it is a very beautiful pursuit. So anyways, I hope that sits well with you. Hope you're doing well. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any thoughts. Do you have a different take, a different perspective? I would love so much to hear from you. And if you yourself are on the journey towards mindfulness and wholeness, if you're interested in furthering your pursuits, I would love to talk with you. Feel free to reach out to me, and we can chat more. So, all right. Thanks so much. Take care. Peace.